Hello, everybody. Welcome to this very special episode of the Versecast. Special why? Special because we are going to discuss CitizenCon. And if you don't know what that is, well, you better dance with the horse what brung you is all I gotta say. Red Dead Redemption.
We're talking that already?
Nothing but. My name is Gleep, and today is October 15th, 2948. And remember, objects in your mirrors may vary. Mixed metaphor. I guess they're not really metaphors, are they? Memes. Ooh, I made a thing. I make mixed memes. Gotta trademark that. So guys, having been to the Star Citizen Con, just returned, having now made your pilgrimage to the con, guys, are your souls properly prepared?
The most they could be.
Great! Turd, pleased to be passing out the purple drank.
All right, everybody, here you go. Take your cups.
Sing with me. Hail bop, he bop, and we bop. You get it? It's like a comic joke. Hail bop.
I got it. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
yeah. Woo! Comic jokes.
Who knew that Cyndi Lauper would look so good in purple Nikes? Not me. Seriously, guys, how about we introduce ourselves and, well, actually just you guys, and tell us briefly how you came to be a guy with ships, and if this was your very first rodeo, what that was like, and because it's Texas, it's a place, and you can go there. So, Grit, how about you lead us off?
Oh, great. No pressure or anything there.
No.
I'm Grit Spitter. How did I end up in those guys with ships? Oh, thank you. Actually, honestly, longtime listener of the Versecast. Is honestly probably how I ended up here.
Cool.
Interacting with other guys with ships.
Did
was
you?
Oh, sorry.
Like I said, did you start back with the first episode? Because John loves it when you do that.
He does. If you haven't, you should.
You really should.
I'm sure I did hear it at some point. I don't think I started there, but I listen to stuff religiously, and when I run out of new episodes, I always go back until I run.
That goes for everybody else out there.
Yeah. All three of you that are listening out there.
I have them play in the background throughout my day.
Had the first episode, you really shouldn't do that. And now, was this your first CitizenCon?
This was indeed my first official CitizenCon. I attended VerseCon in Austin last year, but I had not made it to a CitizenCon yet.
I wonder if they are going. Well, I guess because they did that the same day as CitizenCon last year, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just answered my own question. Would they be doing that again at some point this year? No, because
not this year, but I think the organizers, we did talk about it at the Bar Citizen, and they announced that there will be a VerseCon 2.0 next year.
Now, do we know for sure where the next CitizenCon is going to be?
I think do they rotate now it's either, I believe it's the UK.
Okay. That kind of makes sense. Because I think it was Germany last year, LA the year before that, and so now this year back in the US and in Austin, and so I guess back to Manchester or one of the studios up there, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right, cool. We'll get deeper into the mythology that is Grit Spitter a little bit later on.
It's a shallow mythology.
It fits on a placemat at the IHOP.
I read it in a fortune cookie. That's where it came from.
That's awesome. Mr. Handsome Devil.
Woo!
First time on the show for you, my friend.
Yeah, first time caller, long time listener.
Yeah, with the Versecast, I believe I came in roughly in the beginning. I was the 83rd or 85th person to join the org, so it was a minute ago. And I did go back and listen. I didn't go to the beginning there, John, so don't worry. But I did go back a few, I believe.
Okay,
okay. And yes, this was my first CitizenCon, and I'm very happy with that.
Awesome. Have you been to gaming conventions before?
I have not. I've been to Comic-Cons and done some panels and stuff for actors and whatnot. So it's kind of along the same line. But once a geek, always a geek, and you fit wherever you need to be.
Absolutely. Well
said. Well said.
Just nerd culture, which translates across all sorts of different boundaries.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's right. It's kind of like the Euro. It's like if you're a nerd, you can go to all these different nerd countries and be accepted as one of them.
The flag flies very well.
Just check your exchange rates.
Yes, yeah, you did need to do that. All right, and now this gentleman is not a stranger to our show. Mr. Amontillado, how are you?
My name is Amontillado. You filled my freighter. Prepare to fly.
Nice.
That was excellent. That was.
He's still riding that high.
That was on that napkin.
Yeah, he is. So is everybody home now?
Yes.
I am, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know if they're. I think wasn't Lacondi going down there for a month or something?
Oh boy, I hadn't
do
heard
know
that.
him and his wife were down there, and she had some of her agenda, and there was just a CitizenCon in there. So I know there's a few days he was going to be there longer than most of the group.
Dedication.
Well, I was hyperbolizing, but I did remember seeing something like he was going to be there for an extended period, like a week, which is I think for
7 years he's going to be down there.
7 years.
7 years in Austin. It's the sequel to 7 Years in Tibet.
In the right light, he looks just like Brad Pitt.
100%.
You could dress the same, and it's all cool.
He's taller than Brad Pitt too, so he's got that going for him. I should say that Mrs. Lacondi has that going for her. Amontillado, was that your first CitizenCon?
It was my first CitizenCon. I did get to PAX East a few years back, the last one they did. And like Grit Spitter, I went to VerseCon last year. Went to the CitizenCon viewing party, basically. And so, this is my first actual CitizenCon. It was great.
Well, yeah. So you're a event like this veteran. So was
this one was much better than any of the rest that I attended.
Well, I mean, how? I see. Okay, now I'll ask you this question later. And we are waiting for one more distinguished guy with. I don't know if is Dietrich one of those guys that has a whole bunch of ships, or does he just have one ship?
I'd be surprised if he just had the one.
Those guy with ship.
He's got a fleet.
Yeah, I mean, he should. If they gave him a ship for every 10,000 words he wrote about ships, he would have all of them twice.
All the ships.
All the ships. It would be, Clifford would be coming to him saying, "Hey, can I borrow that?" So yeah, we are waiting for Dietrich, and I do apologize, guys, that kind of had to do this in a rush because I definitely wanted to get something done because Turd, I can't even remember the last time we released something. It's been a couple weeks. It hasn't been
It's been a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been forever. But I know that Turd has been very busy in his life with work and family stuff. I'm moving, so immediately after posting this show to the interwebs, all of my life, really, my computer equipment, my Spider-Man underwear, all of it is going into a box. And I will, so I'm not sure when we're going to have the next thing out. So, I'm sorry, Turd, I cut you off.
I told my boy that you bought a house and was moving, and he goes, "I didn't know Gleep was homeless."
Oh, that's so sweet. That's
and they're witty.
Zing.
Oh, well,
not anymore.
Now, Dietrich did. Okay, he did message me. It's unclear from his message what his status is. So, you gentlemen, if you could give us a rousing a cappella version of "Girl from Ipanema" while I type to our friend, I would appreciate it. Hey, I found him!
Where was he?
Oh, he was stuck at the bottom of the water.
The last place you looked.
Oh.
He got stuck in the filter. Paladin, Dietrich?
Welcome.
Dietrich? Well, apparently, I
Still
found
catching his breath.
his lifeless body was in there. Oh my God!
Clear.
Yeah, I know. Handsome knows CPR. Handsome,
Yeah.
help!
Get the bird on the way.
Oh well, he's in the studio. He's unconscious, but he's in the studio, so I'm going to call that a good thing.
Human spirit.
Oh, I just saw his light lit
The
up.
heartbeat.
There we go. Nope, we can't hear you.
He's speaking to us in Morse code.
He is. He is. He jumped out. I wonder if he's rebooting. Okay, we will let the drama build on that and go ahead.
We'll let that simmer. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll let that simmer. But we will get him back in hopefully before I'm done whining about how my back hurts from moving, so that he can share with us his particulars. So yeah, I'm going to be really crazy busy and without equipment for a couple of weeks. Hopefully not too many. We're not. I just wanted to toss it out there that we're not running away. We will be back soon. We've got Turd. We have a bit off topic. We have a whole new major release from Sea of Thieves to talk about and do some content on. And then also, I think, what is it? Soren was saying the other day, Worlds Adrift.
Worlds Adrift.
Worlds Adrift.
Yes.
Had a huge patch come out, so we should probably take a look at that too. And at the end of this month, like right as I'm in the middle of moving, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out, and so I anticipate that's going to suck some of our bandwidth. And
it's a good way to put it.
I like having my bandwidth suck. I don't know about you guys. So Paladin.
Anywho,
Dietrich, can you hear me? I see you. I see your
I just know it.
ring lighting up, but I'm not seeing you talk there. All right. I don't. He's not muted or anything. I can't imagine that I ever would mute Dietrich. Well, yeah, actually I can. But Joe,
Not on a Monday.
kidding. Wow.
What's the matter for you?
Can somebody jump out into the water cooler with him and see if there's something he needs help with? Okay, Turd, can you do that? I'll pull him down there. All right. Well, so guys, I've got. I thought that rather than breaking down this con by presentation, I thought it would be more productive to instead focus on our personal experiences and the more social aspects of the gathering. I'm not saying not to talk about the presentations or what you saw or heard there. I mean, certainly in the context of the experience that you had, those are important things. I just didn't want to do another show where we spent the duration of our chat unpacking what happened and sort of dissecting all the little bits, because I think there are lots of other people that are doing that. And I don't know. I'm kind of thinking, but I don't know for sure. Well, I will find out soon. If you guys are anything like me, 2016, by far the best part of it was the people, and that was the thing that I was most excited about when that con ended. So hoping that's kind of the the kind of stuff that you are interested in talking about as well. So
for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll fire off a question, and we'll go around the table, and you guys, just, and if you want to jump in when you can. I mean, we're not under any kind of time constraint or anything, but if you want to jump in when you can, with comments or jokes or clever insults. Please.
I like turtles.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
See, I like that right out of the gate. Okay, so question the first. When did you get to Austin, and what did you do there prior to the con? No, that's not a different game. Okay. So Grit, when did you get there, and what was the experience like prior to getting inside?
Ooh, prior to getting inside. I actually arrived in Austin the day before.
Okay.
Attended the Bar Citizen the night before, which was insane.
Phenomenal.
Fortunately enough for me, when I arrived at the actual event, The line was a couple hundred yards long, probably at that point.
Wow.
But right when I got there, and I was literally the last person in line, they had to speed up the process. They divided the lines up by the way they had sorted the tickets, so it was by first name basis. So if somebody approached me and said, does your name start with an A, B, or C? And it does, in fact, my real name. So they pulled me over to another line that had just been created, so I pretty much walked right in.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
I didn't have to wait at
all
all.
of us.
I felt so bad for everybody still in line as I just get hustled across the field in front of everybody.
Did
I've
you
had
do
that
the-
happen at the grocery store, but never as something as important as this.
Yeah, it was-
do the big L with your thumb and forefinger and put it on your forehead and just kind of like taunt people?
yeah, I threw my jacket over my head, pretended like I was someone important.
No photos, please.
No photos.
No, don't do it.
No, it was just pure coincidence, pure luck. So that was a great way to start for me.
I'm Ortwin Fryermuth's pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. I think, Dietrich, are you here? Can you hear us?
Oh yeah, I can hear every word.
All right,
Hey.
fantastic. Okay, so
But you pull my corpse so hard that I lost my voice.
ah, well, I aim to please. So real quick, we'll pick back up with you in just a second. Dietrich, from you, we would like to a brief introduction of yourself and tell us how you became a guy with ships, and was this CitizenCon your very first rodeo?
Well, I blame Doc Buckshot for my being the guy with the ship because he heard your podcast, and I in turn heard the podcast, and the rest was many words of history.
Ah, yeah. Well, let's keep it that way.
It was my first sitcon.
Mhm.
It will probably be the last one, unless we have one like 5 years down the road, because Austin is way too convenient to miss.
Oh yeah.
So, but everything else is kind of hard.
How far of a drive was it? Did you drive or fly?
I rode in the car. I did not drive it, but it was a very, very stormy day all the
You
way
surfed
down
in.
the I-35. So it ended up turning about a 5.5 or 6 hour drive into about 7.5 or 8 hours.
Woo!
Yikes.
Woo! And but this is not your first gaming convention type of thing, right?
Strictly gaming, it was. I've been to a lot of science fiction, a lot of Star Trek, a lot of pop culture ones, but straight up gaming, yeah, it was my first one.
Oh, okay. Well, those are similar. I mean, because I think that cons are a thing unto themselves. The subject or the focus may vary. Or does vary, but I think that cons are different than oh my God, there's thunder and lightning. The cons are a different social experience for folks, and I think it's pretty cool personally. But that's why I was asking folks that if this was if people had not been to an event like this or similar to this before, I'd be more curiouser about how they felt about it. But since you guys have all already been, thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening. We really
Great
appreciate
show.
Ow! All right. Well, cool. And Dietrich. Well, let's pick back up here with Grit real quick. You got there the day before, and can you talk a little bit about the Bar Citizen the night before?
Oh my, what I remember of it. It's amazing.
If you need to refer back to me, I'll fill in the
Yeah.
gaps.
We might have to trade off a little. I actually behaved myself pretty well, but I will say the majority of people really had a good time.
Good.
It was clearly evidenced, but I didn't make it to the official. I didn't have a ticket for the. Was it Sally Mae's? Is that where it was?
Maggie May?
Maggie Mae's. I knew there was a May in there. But I was at the spillover next door at Vulcan, which
Okay.
ended up being where everyone ended up later in the evening.
Well, I remember hearing something about there were issues. They were concerned about the weather and that they weren't going to open an outdoor patio or something.
Exactly. We're going to have an open to everyone section of Maggie May, the downstairs, I think. But then those crazy storms came in, and
okay.
They pushed us all next door. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And was that like a hindrance to y'all on the day of the con itself? Were folks standing outside in the rain?
No.
No. Actually, the weather had cleared up beautifully by the time everything got going.
Oh, good.
It was a preemptive moving of venue.
If I may interject, it was a strange thing, Gleep, because the rain had literally followed me along for the entire road, and then as soon as I arrived at where I had stayed, it stopped, and like 15 minutes later, Monty and I were getting ready to cook something.
Getting a sunburn.
Outside on a grill. It was very strange weather that day.
Well, isn't that kind of what Texas is like?
Yeah, pretty much. Some days.
Texas and Florida. I realize that those are not like the same thing, but cool. Okay. And so anything else about pre-gaming for the event itself, Grit?
Not specifically for me. Just meeting a lot of.
You have forgot there, Grit, that you won a ship. On a drawing.
That's right. I did forget. I won a dragonfly.
Outside?
Hey.
It was at the spillover at Vulcan. I think it was test group had set up a raffle giveaway, and you filled out a little ticket when you walked in. And then I was in the bathroom or outside or something.
It was rather funny because I was filling out my ticket to be put in, and they're drawing names, and they're like, and the winners are so-and-so, Grit Spitter, and I was like, I know him. And then they're like, well, he won. I'm like, all right, I will start searching the bar.
That's me. Oh, well, cool. Excellent.
Which is hands down probably one of the I could count on my one hand how many times I've actually ever won any kind of raffle in my entire life. So that was a special moment for me.
Congratulations.
Neato. There was like in 2016, there were 1 million, which is amazing because the facility only held 600 people, but there were 1 million test squadron guys there, and they were loud.
Yeah.
There was plenty.
They let you know they were there.
They're like rabbits; they multiply.
Well, it's nice that the con has a large, group like that to provide, atmosphere and attitude and make the thing more exciting. I think having people there representing is a good thing, because I know there were 3 orgs that represented, right? It was Tess, it was one of the large one, and then I thought there was like one that only had like 25 members or something.
There were several at the event.
3 or 4 booths back there, yeah.
Yeah, with booths.
Tess was the largest by far.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of neat that folks get to participate in that way. So yeah, hey, congrats to you on the what color is it? Is it a white one or a yellow one or a black one?
I haven't received it yet. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, let's hold all of our praise for Test until they actually deliver the goods. Okay.
Yes, exactly. If it's Test, I'm imagining it's yellow too.
Okay. Montoya has a YouTube channel. I would start pestering him now. Just
immediately. Yes.
Yeah.
He receives 200 emails pestering him from TGWS.
That's right. And he should be scared. Handsome, when did you get there? What did you do before the con, prior to entering the building? And if there was nothing really interesting or exciting, just make up something crazy. No one will know.
So there I was, getting off the plane on the Tuesday morning.
Like it already.
Clouds were rolling in. The sun was just behind them. And who do I see in front of me? But Amontillado. No, really, I did get off the plane, and Amontillado met me there.
Awesome.
We shared a Uber. So instant friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We had a big barbecue, as Paladin was talking about, and
more friendship.
And then we hit the Bar Citizen as well. We went down actually before the Bar Citizen. We hit. I was starving because I am not a large person, and when I don't eat, I get angry. So I found a burger on the side of 6th Street of whatnot.
Just on laying on the road.
Yeah, and then we just started pinging TGWS people in our CitizenCon Discord that you made for us. By the way, thank you. That was immensely helpful in everything that we did over the week.
Cool.
But we sat there, we ate, and then we did the Bar Citizen. And I believe, from the pictures that I saw, that the spillover at the Vulcan Gas Company was the better place anyways. Because
Awesome.
I think when people come in on a free thing, you get more people and people are happier. And it was just a good venue, except it was very loud. So half of my conversation probably was not heard, or they thought I was talking about cats.
So did anybody from CIG show up to that Bar Citizen?
Yes,
Yeah.
we had a few of the. As we're walking to the Vulcan, walking down the street, Brian Chambers, and we just
That's
all
right.
yell out, "Brian!" He's like, "Yo!" And then Disco got there later. I think we left before that.
Disco
but yeah,
and Tyler were there,
yeah,
and Jay
Tyler
Lee.
was there. Yep, Jay Lee. Yep. Toast. I think I saw him for a second.
Silo was
So-
there, and Napisky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
It was a very open area and very friendly, even though it was loud. And I imagine all the non-gamers, as they walked by, were really confused why on a Tuesday night at 2100 it was packed like it was a Saturday at 02 in the morning. So
Oh, that makes me wonder. How crowded were things, given that the music festival was going on too?
I feel that it was not crowded because we're on that Tuesday, and from our Uber and everyone we talked to, it was kind of the weekends, and then just kind of the middle was probably people recovering from the first weekend to enjoy the second weekend.
Yeah.
Wasn't bad.
Okay. Well, that worked out okay. Because I know that was a thing that some people were concerned about it with South, because it's South by Southwest that was there, right?
Austin Music Festival.
Austin
City
City
Limits.
Limits. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, that would be when you're competing for scarce resources, the prices tend to rise, and that's not good.
yeah.
People kept asking me about the ACL, and I thought they were talking about my tendons or something.
You're like, I don't even play sports.
It's fine. They're fine. They're both fine.
I feel great. I don't know.
I stretched this morning.
Moving all right.
That's right. I game. My tendons are fine, thank you.
Yeah. They're happy. It's fine.
And Handsome, did you get me a strand of Brian Chambers' beard hair?
So when I went to cut it, the shears broke. And he just turned and gave me the look. And after they brought me back from fainting, Monty said something. I wasn't really paying attention. I just saw this white light. But no, sadly, I couldn't get it into the Ziploc bag that you emailed me the week prior.
Did he like bust off like a Zool growl? Like,
His eyes glimmered. It was amazing.
that's awesome. And I saw a picture, and I forget who sent it to me, but thank you. The barbecue I think you're talking about was on top of a building.
Yes. Yep. That was actually where we were staying. Amontillado has, and he can elaborate on this, but another friend in his org, and we got 2 rooms, and it was like the presidential suite. We played foosball. By the way, me and Monty are the world champs. We cooked all the meats. Meat sweats were present.
I missed
dude.
that. I'm jealous. I missed
Oh,
that.
dude. Yeah, I saw that, and I showed that to Mrs. Leap, but I said, why don't you cook like this? And she hit me.
There was enough meat there for 20 to 25 men.
Man,
We just ate meat. For
We
the
had
next
steaks
3
for
days.
breakfast.
that was so scrumptious. Oh my god, that was scrumptious looking.
Yep. absolutely.
Okay. Cool. And so, then the day of the con, did you like thwart any bank robberies or anything on the way to the place?
No. I mean, we made some friends of the city of Austin. You know, Monty,
Yeah, okay.
a couple friends, and of the vagrants, and whatnot. No, we actually got in there really early because we figured if the gates were going to open at 9, so we got there a little after 8. We were probably the 50th, 75th person in line, and
cool.
It was very, very good. We were able to move through the line and get our stuff rather quickly. And even when I was communicating with Grit, he was like, "I haven't even left yet." I'm like, "This guy is never going to make it." And then all of a sudden,
Suckers.
he's standing next to me. I'm like, "You, sir, are the demon." So No, it was really good. We planned to get there early, and we saw the sunrise type deal. And that's a few of the pictures that I forwarded you from Amontillado.
Yes.
Was the walk that way.
Cool. Turd, I don't know. Do you remember where we were in line?
Oh, I do. We were very, very close.
We were the front, I think. The front
We were
of
the
the
very
line.
front.
Yeah.
Yes, we were. We were in the Alita position, I believe.
Yes.
We were.
We were going to be first in line, but given my background and how security worked, I felt that in the middle of the crowd would keep us in a safe position.
Safety first.
Or we took a wrong turn, literally.
It was good to see the Atletas again, and again more shout outs 2 years hence for them holding down the very front of the line, because that put us in the front row, which was very, very cool. And okay, well, excellent. So Monty, I think I know when you got there, and I think I know where you were staying. I think I know what you had for dinner the night before the con and breakfast. Anything else interesting that you would care to share? Does Handsome snore? Does he talk in his sleep? Does he walk in his sleep? And again, please feel free to make something up, because nobody believes any of this anymore.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't know any of those things because he got the big room and I got the little one downstairs.
Oh!
I didn't make the rules. I even tried to change.
I just enforced them.
I slept under a foosball table. Like, come on.
Did you really?
I've done that.
I did.
Wow.
And I wasn't even
Kinda
drinking.
Not even since college, man. Wow. Foosball. It's what's for dinner.
No, but like Devil said, I got there earlier than he did, but we arrived about half an hour early, and he arrived about half an hour late. So we were just waiting. When I say we, I flew in with another local Star Citizen fan, Noble Spoon from Magellanic org. That's the other org that Handsome Devil was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And we got hooked up with them through Paladin and Doc Buckshot, who are members of that org.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, I had met Kelder, the leader of Magellanic, at VerseCon.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about how next year they was going to be there, and how I was thinking about coming. And Kelder thought that they might have room for me, and so he pulled what strings he could, and it was a very nice hookup there.
Awesome.
Very nice.
So,
Awesome.
So yeah, we got this condo with a few TGWS guys and a few Magellanic guys, and they brought the meats, and that was all great. When we arrived, the hotel wasn't ready, and so we dropped off our bags and went walking, and that's when Devil needed some food, and we ended up hooking up with Lycondi and Solidus and
Jonah.
And
Juno.
And
Juno.
I'm going to get the names wrong, so I'm not even going to try. But Mrs. Juno and Mrs. Lycondi, I think, right?
Yes.
And
Who was IK? AYEKAY, I think. She posted some
Not
pictures.
sure who she is.
I'm not sure.
I never saw her. I saw her post as you did, and I was like, I don't know that name or her face.
One of the Adlita's wife was there, correct?
Yes. Hardpoint. Or no, Fable.
Is it one or the other?
Right. Hot Mama something is her. It's what she had on the back of her shirt, anyway.
Oh, did she?
Hot Mother Storm or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Hot Mama
Okay.
Storm? Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I mean, I saw. I know there was a proposal at the ceremony, but I just thought.
Bad news
Sorry.
bearer, yep.
Yeah, there was that. We also we found Bennu in the line, and
Yes.
there's another those guys with ships guy at the con, but I don't think I ever ran into him.
Hold on, I'll look at it. I got him here somewhere. I'll find the name. Hold on.
Cool. But I think to get everybody there. No, Turd. So what did you do before not getting to Austin and prior to the convention itself?
Well, before that, I worked, and then prior to the convention, I was still working.
I've heard of people doing that.
Yeah.
How about you? How about you, Gleep?
Well, I scooped the cat box, and then I forgot my glasses at home, and so I had to go back and get them. And I almost set off the house alarm twice on the way in, and then back on the way out again. So it was great.
At your home?
Yeah, there was no stakes involved. There was no Brian Chambers magical beard hair. It was a day. It was a Wednesday, is what it was. But it's that's.
But you guys had fun. That's good. I'm happy for you. Yeah, sure.
We did.
Yeah, so genuine.
I just want to let you know that when we were there, you were all there in spirit.
Aww, you guys.
All feels.
Virtual blush.
I'm blushing on the inside because I'm pink and tender in there. What? Next question. What specifically did you guys like about the con? And we'll go the same order. Grit, Hansen, Monty, Dietrich, and then Turd.
A whole show full of treasure. What did I like specifically? A lot of things, honestly. I was impressed with the setup. It was.
Oh, wait! I forgot. God darn it! I forgot. I was going to write this down. I was at the stoplight, and I was going to write it down, and I didn't because the light turned green, so it's not my fault. Who rode the Dragonfly outside?
Dragonfly?
Oh,
I believe
everybody did.
I did not. Actually.
I heard somebody broke it. I heard.
Well,
really?
so however it was made with wood and some 3D parts. So as you would approach it, they had a couple people that are kind of monitoring. They're like, just be careful, bring your leg over this way, don't grab on this. But for the most part, it was rather sturdy and well made, and it didn't cost you anything. And, and they did say, because we got to talk to the person that put it together. It was, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but it was 2/3 the size of an actual one.
No, it was 3/4.
Or 3/4. So So when you got on it, there was a little. It was a little small. So I just felt really big, which was amazing. But because they said if we would have made it full size, and as you can see from the pictures, it was pretty good size already.
Yeah,
it was impressive. Body, because it's going off of a 6'3" person, and you put anyone in the 5 foot, they're not reaching handles, and it's like they're wearing their dad's coat. So
that's fine.
I heard it made noises. Did it make noises?
They had audio playing behind it, and every now and then the blasters would shoot. It did have headlights, and I don't remember if it had taillights. And they had toggle switches that turned them off and on.
I believe it was hard to tell, but I saw it at night. The Gravlev plates underneath of it actually had blue lights in them too. But
like
to see.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Like neon, one of those little Honda Civics with all the neon. Yeah. Neato.
And then they had that amazing backdrop behind it, and I can't remember who didn't realize that was back there until about 2 hours.
That was me.
Oh, okay. He's like, oh, and there's a picture of Damar behind him. I'm like, yeah, that's been there all day.
Oh, cool. I just I love the picture of the Alita brothers on there, and I know if it wasn't making, they were providing their own noises because they were having way too much fun.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom.
If you dig through it enough, you'll find a lot of other TGWS combinations in there. Like Monty and I got on there. I was driving, of course.
Were you? Oh, now Turd, what was it? What did we call that? What was we had all those different positions for.
This just got personal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
The lemur. I remember the lemur was one of them.
Yeah. You could call the second seat the Nut Crusher.
Oh, that's well, that means you want passengers that don't have to be worried about that. All right. Well, excellent. Grit, I apologize. Not at all. I finally remember that, and it seemed like one of the cooler things, or it's one of the cooler things that I saw. So I thought it would be good to get your guys' take on it. Maybe this question is a bit unfair. Specifically, what did you like? Just the things that a thing that was sort of a highlight, I guess, might be a better way of putting that.
Oh, that's tougher. There were many highlights. Just off the same theme of the model of the Dragonfly, there was a really impressive model of the Kraken as well at the Drake display. How big would you guys say that was? 4 or 5 feet long?
Oh, longer than that, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say like
I would say it was
12.
10 to 12.
Is it really that? Yeah, it was bigger than I thought it was. I'd seen pictures, but
I heard it was
We had no banana for
1/72.
scale.
Yep.
So 72 times of that would be big.
Yes.
But the only obvious answer I could give is the keynote and the road to release were actually probably the 2 biggest highlights for me, and they were supposed to be. So that worked really well.
Okay. So you need to choose one of those because
come on.
there are going to be no repeats. No repeats.
Road to release.
Road to release. Okay, so we have road to release is taken. Handsome.
Well, I'm going
You can't
to
say
go
road to
with,
release. You can't say that.
Release to the road. Oh, sorry. What is release to the road? No, I would honestly say, all panels aside, it was the best part about it was the atmosphere and the people that were there. Whether there was even a CitizenCon going on, just the group of people and the joy that everyone had and the stories and stuff was probably the best. Like I didn't even need a keynote speech.
Okay. So you're going to say atmosphere, just sort of the
Yep,
the,
I was
the
in
vibe,
Atmo.
the vibe of the place. All right. Okay. Monty.
Yeah, like Devil was talking about, and you mentioned earlier,
You can't reuse.
it's the people. The people, Gleep.
I took people so you can take
meet
keynote.
everybody, hang out with folks. Like I said, I had been to the PAX East thing, but I went by myself. The VerseCon, I went by myself. This time, I was going there with pre-planned meetups and staying with folks, and it was a whole lot more fun.
Okay.
As far as the con itself, I really liked the cloth tech demo. I thought that was just amazing.
Oh, that was also good.
I've seen other games approach that kind of stuff, but this was by far. I don't know if you saw that panel yet or not, but
No, have they
It's
released those
unreal.
panels yet?
I have an update on that.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen. Oh, go ahead.
Well, let's just go as a side note. Apparently, the deal is they're going to be uploading 1 panel a day over the next couple of weeks to YouTube.
I like that.
Oh, okay.
Cool. All right.
Cool. Excellent. Okay.
Sorry.
So, got it, Monty?
Yeah, I guess I'll let you see it for yourself. But yeah, it was really impressive cloth demo. I'm very much looking forward to what they're going to be able to do with clothes going forward.
Cool. Like take them off or hang them out to dry, or
I would assume so. Yeah.
take them to the thrift store, exchange them
That
for.
panel really had layers,
I see what you did. Very nice. That's why we brought him on.
Exactly.
But
And security. All right, Dietrich. So we have off the big board. We have the Atmo and also the clothing. What say you as to the thing that you enjoyed the most? A thing, not the thing. A thing.
Well, I'm going to go with atmosphere yet again, just even though it's been said before, just because
The rules are the rules not clear, Turd? I just
so.
Maybe he's
I
talking
know,
about
I
Thurston.
know.
I know.
We just don't care.
If I had to pick the one, it would probably be Chris dropping his not working remote and then goes on stage. Just because nobody here is going to think of that one, I'm going to go with that.
How come persistence never works that way when I've accidentally dropped my car keys?
right.
I don't know. He must have an extra fancy remote control. Okay, and Turd, what was your the thing about the con specifically that you liked the most?
I didn't get to see all of it, but I had it on while I was working, and one thing that kind of caught my ear was and I don't want any trouble, so if you don't like, it's just my opinion, but I like the flight model changes.
I've heard people excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I wasn't very happy with how it was. You know, it had the cruise mode, and if you turned at all, then it knocked you back down to your top SCM speed. But now it seems a little more natural, a little more realistic, which I like.
Did you see John Pritchett outside the building, you know, kind of looking in through the oily
He might have
marks
been
with his
banging
nose?
on the way.
Photoshop. You need to Photoshop that immediately. I myself, I didn't get to. I listened to a lot of. I didn't get to see much of it, but on the day of. But my favorite thing was that I had changed the cat litter just the day before, so it wasn't very used. So I know these are simple pleasures, but these are the pleasures that I have in.
Get you through the day.
It does get me through the day.
It really is the little things in life.
The little things in life, like only moderately soiled cat litter.
That's the best.
You know,
everything's relative.
100%. Yeah.
You know. If Wolf was here, Wolf would be going, yeah. 'Cause that's how Wolf sounds. Except when he sounds like this.
Wolf, are you on the wheel?
What?
On the starboard.
He bought a Valkyrie, didn't he?
Oh, did he
I
now?
think he did. Yeah.
I thought he announced in chat that he just wandered in and said, if any of you guys are concerned, Uncle Wolfie bought a Valkyrie. Bye. It's like,
Just drop that bomb.
yeah.
Shenanigans will ensue.
And the mic, and just boom, he's out of there. That's awesome.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Now, of course, because with the sweet is made sweeter by the sour, which is not sweet. What specifically did you? Or, it doesn't have to be specific, but was there any things that disappointed you about the con? And perhaps something you were kind of expecting to see or to experience, and for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. Not saying that it was something that detracted from the event, but it was kind of like a thing. I was like, oh, I was, if it was Shiver from Relay, he would say, oh, I was looking forward to seeing Melissa Estrada. But neither of them were on this continent, so the chances of that happening were nothing, because
0.
I am maths. So yeah, Grit, anything about that you were just kind of like, oh, I was kind of expecting to see this, and no biggie, can't get everything, but it sure would have been nice to see this.
To be honest, I kind of went in with little to no expectations. So it was almost everything I hoped it would be and more. The only thing that I thought was kind of a detractor was the simultaneous stages and having to choose to not see one presentation over another. It seemed like it was structured more for a 2-day event that got crammed into a 1-day event.
Well, and I heard they didn't clear some of the side events or the side room between events, and so like some people were lined up for a long time to see Tony Zervik and couldn't get in.
I should also, should add.
Some people might have been holding their seats.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hanson.
But that was part of it. That and the fact that there really wasn't any buffer time between panels, even on their respective stages. So you basically, if you wanted to eat something or go to the bathroom or anything, you were gonna give up your seat and miss something.
Oh wow!
So that was a little disappointing. It would have been nice to have maybe like a half hour between panels or some such thing for people to move around. But I mean, that's the least bothersome thing that could have happened.
Now, but last time all the panels were in the main room, right?
I do not know.
This is the first time they've done 2 stages.
Okay, yeah. So you can kind of cut them some slack. They're managing, disconnected spaces like that probably is not as easy as it might seem on paper. So yeah,
I think they only had like 4, maybe 5 panels last year. It was a lot. It was a lot fewer number.
Yeah. So I am. How many were there this year?
Well, there was 2 running concurrently for 4 hours, and then Chris's 2 presentations. So that would be
it was up
10 presentations.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, right in there.
So we'll get a chance to see all of that released over the next couple of weeks then, or 10 days or so. Cool. Cool. Excellent. All right. And Handsome, you.
So this is going to be an odd one, but
Yay! I like odd.
I'm a little odd.
I like you.
So
That's why you're here.
I paid for the nosebleeds,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend Amontillado paid for the front row.
Wow.
Which is so this is where I'm going. So the first presentation, I was up in the nosebleeds, totally happy. But the road to release, when Chris came out again, I felt like that should have been put back into premiums are up front, and the non-premiums are back up in the nosebleeds. But it was intermixed, and I thought that was a disservice to the people that paid for the good seats up front, because they were able to intermingle. I thought those two panels should have been regulated for seating. Everything else it is what it is. But I thought that was kind of something.
They weren't checking your ticket to make sure that you belonged.
Only the keynote, so the first one, but
the first one,
the finished one, yeah. Everyone was intermixed. Which Amani came up and sat with me. I think 90% of us came up to the nosebleeds and we had a good time anyways. But I feel if you're going to have someone pay almost twice as much as I do, that they should definitely get the 2 big points.
Yeah. I heard that they had some crazy number of volunteers, like 150 or 175 volunteers.
There was a lot. And
there were a lot. Yeah. A lot of gray shirts.
Yeah, and a critique I heard was that they relied too heavily on the volunteers for some things.
Well, I know that all the volunteers were scanning our tickets in, like Clifford were scanning
Sophie
tickets
Girl.
in. Yep, Sophie Girl was up there. Wow. A few others that I just know from podcasts and stuff. They were really... Yeah, they were definitely overused at some points.
And Dargenator was running around as a camera man.
Really? Wow.
Took a lot of the dragonfly shots, and that was on Dargenator.
Yeah, it surprises me a little bit, because I know when they had talked about going into this, and the whole kerfluffle around the electronic ticket was that they were spending a whole bunch of extra money on this event, and so they needed to recoup some of that. I'm just curious, what was it that was there that they were trying to recoup the cost of? If
they did in fact have a professional film crew there, taping and recording the audio for all of the stages. And that's what's going to be uploaded to YouTube. Is basically what they have.
Oh, okay. Well, that's smart, because like in years. What year was it that they posted? They posted Citizen Con and then took it down like 15 minutes later, and it was never to be heard again.
Yeah, I believe that was a holiday one, wasn't it?
The holiday
live stream. That was the worst travesty in the history of Star Citizen.
Oh, it was so bad. It was great.
It was fantastic. I watched it live.
I love B movies and Pulp Fiction novels. I mean, that was. They kept cutting. They kept cutting back to Sandy while she's like going through her phone and stuff.
Would have been better just cutting back to Lamp.
It's like my parents used to tell me growing up when something bad happened. Just think of it like an adventure, and it's an adventure that's going to turn into a memory you'll never forget.
I will never forget that one. I think that wasn't last year. That was the year before, right?
Was 2016, I think.
I think it's 16. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Okay. Cool. Monty, about the event that you thought not disappointed, but just a little bit taken aback, like, oh wow, well, didn't think they would do it that way.
I thought the Kraken and the Valkyrie were great, but I would like to have seen more new stuff. Rather than they went with the idea of we're gonna showcase what's just around the corner, and I get that, and they did it well, but I would have liked to have seen more new stuff coming out. Maybe the Titan armor, maybe some of the other planets in the Stanton system, a Microtech reveal, a Crusader maybe. It's also probable that no matter what they showed and how much, I would still want more. So take that as you will.
Fair enough. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Okay, Mr. Positivity, Mr. Warmth, what say you, sir?
That's me.
I gotta go get a jacket. It's chilly in here.
I'm sending out so much love and positivity to you right now, Glee.
Oh,
if
thank you.
only you could see it.
I could. Ew, no, thank you.
It's I would have to echo the duality of the presentations. I actually was okay with that, but I would have liked to see them swapped because it was obvious that the one venue was bigger and needed, whereas the other one they were turning other folks away.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually ended up not getting in on those, so that was a bummer. But
Yeah.
since that's already been taken, following the rules, I'll just say I'm disappointed that there wasn't a delay for the presentation.
Oh.
What about the crash test?
It was all of like
Oh, that's
a
typical.
5-minute delay. They were almost perfectly on time.
That's true.
Ah.
I mean,
Well,
what is
good.
going on there, CIG?
I don't. What have you done with Chris? Oh my God. Okay.
That
well,
side stage was super small too. It was really, really tiny. And I would like to add, I don't know who decided it was a great idea to put Tony Zurovic on
Tony!
the second stage in a tiny little amphitheater.
Yeah.
That was
I would add to that.
I heard that was
Yeah.
Tony's idea.
Oh, you know, you're right. I heard somewhere that saying that he actually is really uncomfortable around large crowds.
well, that would make sense then.
Yeah.
Totally
right.
forgiven.
We can give him a
Yeah.
blindfold and he will never know the difference.
I will let
Yeah.
you know that he did
Yeah.
not act it. He was up there and he was just as you
crushed
thought
it.
he would be. He was amazing. And even
Well-
Doc Buckshot got to ask him a question.
Yeah, good questions.
I mean, because he is. I mean, next to Chris, I think he is by far the person that people most
Mhm.
say they want to hear talk. You know, that
Yep.
they'll, if they know that there's an ATV or an RTV and it's going to be on there, that's must see TV on your computer.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but if the man, because it was, let's see, because we don't have any crossover, do we? We don't have anybody here that was at 16 as well.
Nope.
No.
I was going to be, but I had to go do some stuff.
I know. Go play with your friends. Because that venue was quite intimate. So I'm just wondering if this one felt like cavernous or something.
The main stage was. I mean, it was a huge
yes.
theater.
Mm-hmm.
The second stage was very much. You're in this room with like folding seats type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Better chairs, though.
They were more comfortable than the theater. But,
Is it an old theater?
It's the old style theater. So with the multiple levels and the box seats on the side, and you're looking for the Muppet Show type stuff going on.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun.
yeah.
See that's the
What'd
thing
you
that
say?
It's technically a performing arts center, so it's theater-esque.
Theater-esque. Okay. Okay. And then Turd. What disappointed you, Turd? I mean, you're a pretty happy-go-lucky, rolls off my back, let a smile be my handshake kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was something that grinded my gears. I wasn't upset at him. I was just upset with him when Glenn missed the jump.
That was
So many
It was
times.
that moment. Yeah.
I have an interjection there too. Actually, my favorite moment I think of the entire con, because when Glenn came out on stage at the beginning of the keynote, he was very excited that he finally got to buy authentic cowboy boots, which he had on over his pants, and Chris gave him a little crap for that. And then when he missed that jump, there was that moment where the whole auditorium kind of was like, ah! And then it got deathly quiet, and someone in this beautiful, perfect Texas drawl just belts out, "That's what happens when you wear your boots outside your pants!"
Yes, it was amazing.
Perfect. Yeah.
Ain't lying.
It was
that's
great.
funny. That's funny. I understand that. Speaking of Melissa Estrada, that she is engaged to he being Glenn.
Oh, really?
Well, congratulations,
Yeah.
Glenn.
Yeah.
Better get a restraining order on Shipper then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I understand that Shiver is himself appointmented to be hitched. So that would be bad form to. Just a little bit late because I had to go kill this other guy.
Yeah. Love you, Shiver.
Love you, Shiver. And okay, so I just, I think some kind of similar to what Monty said. I thought that I would like to see less shiny stuff and perhaps a greater variety of gameplay activities, more fully fleshed out. That maybe seen a little bit of mining. And I know I went through the roadmap today, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of profession type stuff coming up before the third quarter of next year. I guess that being the case, there really wasn't anything for them to show. But it would have been nice to see more of how we're going to play in the universe, not where we're going to play, or not where we're going to play looks like. So
it's a good one.
It's that's the timing of where we are in this process. I get it, but it's just at some point I just get shinied out. I'm just like, it's great. It's great. It's really great.
Well, that's when you tune into Tony Zervik's talks.
Yeah. But he, and it's kind of a thing with him that's interesting, and thank you for bringing that up, Turd, is that he is very articulate in the way that he talks, and he's very careful with the words that he uses, except for what's the word that he always says?
You know.
Yeah, he can't stop saying that. But other than that, I mean, he's very clear on what he is able to say and not say. And or how he should phrase things, which is something a few other people, could maybe take some hints from. And so from him, it always is like, well, this is how we're looking at this thing that's going to happen sometime in the future, or this is how we're looking at this. It doesn't come across like this is the way you are going to do this. You're going to when you're in this situation, this is how you're going to get out of it. And I know that's partially not fair, because if the stuff isn't in place, he can't answer questions about insurance, or he can't answer questions about how blowing up a factory will affect that planet's local economy. I mean, because they got to crunch those numbers first. But he has amazing information about what makes the shiny as it is. But I'd never come away from him feeling like I understand better how I'm going to play the game, with you guys.
Well,
Yeah.
if I may, there.
Yeah.
This was the first time that, and I didn't even hear it in person, but I heard everybody else describing it and detail. I for the first time felt like he knows what he is going to do. It's just a matter of that he needs the technical in place before he kind of smiths it out and makes it a fine forged product to hand over to us. But he conveyed great confidence that he knows what is coming, and that was perhaps the first time I've ever seen that from him.
Okay.
So I'm
That's
hopeful.
a fair point. Yeah.
Well, stuff like that, information like that is important. The way that a person, especially a person that speaks as articulately as he does and as upfront as he is, the differential between how he said something last time and how he says it this time is useful information, because you can have confidence that this means something. So good. That's good to hear. I have not seen his presentation yet.
It was excellent.
I am looking forward to listening to it.
Go ahead, Monty.
I'm going to be curious, when you do hear his presentation, whether you think you have learned anything new.
Okay.
Because when I walked away from, I was in that room, and it was all very interesting, and like you said, it was very well presented and everything. But it is, as I recall, it was simply a reaffirmation of things that I already knew or assumed. So I don't think there was much new coming from Tony in that presentation.
I think you and Paladin both nailed it. It was kind of a combination of the two. Because the way he used to discuss these things was, in theory, this is how we would do it, or along those lines. And this was more saying the same things that he used to say as theory, but it was, this is how we're doing it. So it was a kind of a rehash of the old stuff, but it was with more confidence that it wasn't hyperbole or conjecture. It was like, this is how it's going to work.
Well, I know he has a strong background in finance. I think he owned a hedge fund or something. So he's smart enough to know that, you know, for something where you're building, essentially he's building an economic model to run this universe, or to be run by this universe. He's smart enough to know that you can't, before you've even got the model constructed and run any data through it, you can't make any kind of meaningful predictions of how it's going to work. I mean, that's
yeah.
If anyone does that, you know, run the other way, because they can't possibly know what they're talking about. So, okay, well, good. I look forward to seeing that, Monty, and I will check back on that with you. And so the last question I had kind of dovetails out of the last one. How have your expectations for the Star Citizen project, changed since having attended this con?
Back to me again?
Yeah.
Honestly, nothing's really changed for me. It's kind of par for the course. My hype for Squadron 42 is rejuvenated.
Mm-hmm. Now, why? Like, tell me why? Because a thing that I noticed was last time, the last Squadron 42 thing we saw, where we saw the coil for the first time, that was gameplay. This time it was a commercial. So why are you feeling this increase in positivity?
Mostly from the road to release statements and kind of some hindsight stuff too, looking back at it. But Chris said we're getting the roadmap in December. Of course, I've said that before for Squadron, and that will go all the way up to release. So I doubt it'll have a specific date, but I'm betting a year or so of polish. But he also specifically said that the last major technical hurdle was object container streaming, to make sure that they could actually make Squadron what they wanted it to be, and that's now done. So technically there are no more hurdles, there's no more blockers, there's nothing that's, oh crap, will we actually be able to make this game? It's good to go. So now it's more polishing. And then also from him speaking to that and looking back at what the panels were about the cloth, the space environments, the flight model, it's really, the con itself was really geared towards Squadron 42. All those panels were basically the remaining tech that needs to be polished to get Squadron out the door.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And he kind of touches on that a little bit. And all that spills over into the persistent universe. But even when in the road to release, when he was talking about what they still needed for them to consider like the minimum viable release product for the universe, almost everything they mentioned was nothing we saw at the CitizenCon. It was server meshing and everything else, but all the stuff we did see was the polish that Squadron needs.
No, okay.
We saw all that tech in action too. It wasn't they weren't showing stuff that was to be done. It was stuff that was almost done. That, like, even the space environment, the cloud tech just needed shadow work or something like that. That they had largely completed that. So that gave me a lot of confidence that Squadron's not crazy far off. I'm not expecting it, in the next 6 months, but I would say next December probably.
Yeah, holiday 19.
And I heard other people mention similar sentiments, but the idea that polishing is going to take a whole lot longer than that, because traditional games it takes a lot longer. But the only caveat I see is that because of the nature of our testing and playing the persistent universe and the crossover of assets, they actually have been polishing and optimizing a lot as they go. So I don't think the polishing phases are going to be as long as a traditional game would be.
Well, so one thing that has me really scared about that is that our friend Handsome went out and bought a 2060. So
2080.
2080. So
It's
now with
advanced.
all the ray tracing
Thank you.
goodness, so now that he's done that, how can Chris not like start all over again and build to that spec?
That's why I bought
a good
it, so
question.
we would start over.
I
I did it for me.
did it for me.
Did it for me.
Nobody has anything for me.
But I was saying, and I'm speaking to your. Sorry to ramble on, but speaking to
No,
what you were saying about the cinematics versus gameplay, honestly, a lot of what was in that trailer, I think, and a lot of people forget this sometimes too, is that the game itself, the cinematics are part of the gameplay. Because
sure.
you turn off the cinematic cameras, so a lot of that is actually what the game will look like. That's in game engine kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we didn't really get to see, well, like you were saying, missions and stuff as much, but
Now, am I the
trailer? It was amazing.
Am I the only one that saw that they took Admiral Bishop and swapped out Gary Oldman for oh god, who was it? Crap.
Mark Strong?
No, the jokes are much funnier when I can remember the punchline. I posted it in chat during the thing, but there was
Was this another thing you needed to write down at the green light?
No, Dietrich, I forgot this days ago. Okay, hold on. I'm
okay.
gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Oh, look at it. There's Monty and Chris. There's Handsome and Chris.
Hey, Grit.
Yeah.
Do you still have those fingers in the shape of an L?
Attaboy.
It's permanently like that. As we started recording, I've just been sitting here.
Now with posable hands.
That's right, locked and loaded. Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's
I
called
can't
LOIP. It's a new
find
tech.
LOIP. Yeah, I can't find it. Oh, for crying out, Pete! But they a significant change to the good admiral's countenance in my mind. So
He lost the goatee.
yeah, he lost a goatee and he looked more human. Less robotic.
I think they were trying to make him look more sympathetic, perhaps. You know, an older man that is past his prime, and just
Careful.
rather than just his like he was at the speech in the Senate Hall, where he's like larger than life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think it worked, at least for what we saw.
Yeah. I think it's but then what about I'm sorry, I'm just riffing here. The AI. I heard some folks talking about object container streaming is that hurdle has been, they're standing on top of it now. They probably haven't cleared it entirely, but they're standing on top of it right now. But what about the AI, the FPS AI? Because I've heard that didn't really the bots are still pretty dumb, and they're going to need those bots for Squadron 42, right?
Sure. I have played the PU and went to Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of them are good and some of them are not. I walked in there fully expecting to just literally walk through the place, and the third guy took me down rather quickly, in a good manner though.
Yeah.
One was standing in the corner. I was like, I'm just gonna shoot you in the hand. The other one was like peeking. I was like, whoa, hey, where'd you get your training? Right? It's kind of like when I do Army stuff. I'm like, oh, that one actually paid attention to the training, and that one was on his phone. So
Right.
I've heard there's been some bugs with them purely related to networking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So only affecting the PU. I'm sure
Okay,
it's
so your guess is Squadron 42 release holidays next year, roughly. Just
I'm thinking so. Yeah.
ballpark. Okay.
Ballpark or early like Q1 2020, because that's obviously the upside, as we all know, to CIG not having a publisher. They'll take as long as they damn well please, making that nice and
they
pretty.
will do. Well, but it's going to be. We think it's going to be in the UK, so it wouldn't be a ballpark. What do they call soccer fields?
Or like a cricket field or something.
Pitch.
A pitch, yeah.
Well, yeah.
In
Well
the
done.
pitch. Yes.
Well done.
Nice pull.
I'm exhausted now.
you didn't even hurt your ACL.
Oh,
I'm sweating.
right. Okay, Handsome. Same question. Expectations. How have they changed since having attended the con?
They went up. I say that because I watch all the Around the Verse, Reverse the Verse, and I see some forums and this and that, and everyone kind of is like, oh, they're working their developers to the bone, 18-hour days. I get it, but to talk to them and see what they did personally at this, like the award that we get for the SitCon, I sat and talked to the guy as he was developing it in front of me for 5 minutes, and the joy that he had making it. And he's got his computer and he's doing it. He's like, here, take the mouse, try this, check this out. Like, he let me move a character with the award and stuff, and there's a twinkle in his eye. And then the same when I was talking to Chris, like, I'm like, okay, this is CEO, this guy's got all the monies, and he just started talking to me like, hey, what's up, man, this is great. And he's like, I can't remember who was to his right. He's like, hey, tell him about the hair model and whatnot. And as we're in line, like, shaking hands, the person taking control of the line is like, hey, you gotta leave. I'm like, Chris is talking, so I'm not really gonna go anywhere, right? But it was instantly personable. Just good people, like, shaking hands, just good people. And you could see in how they presented and how they're doing things that they're 100% behind this, and it just gave me more confidence.
There's a lot of love in the pot.
Cool, excellent. Does Chris smell good? He looks like he would smell good.
Well, he smelled a lot like cake, but that's because he leaned over and got it on his jacket. But don't worry, Nick got most of it off in an awkward manner.
Oh, I don't know why. I just imagine he smells like lemongrass. I don't know why.
He smells like winning, truthfully.
Winning. Oh, wow. Tiger blood? Awesome.
60% of the time. Works.
Fantastic. Monty, what say you, sir? Any change to your expectations, or are you on the same trajectory as when you got there?
I think Gritspitter stole all my stuff.
Oh,
no, but yeah, I'm more excited for Squadron 42 than I used to be. I'm a Star Citizen guy. I've always been in it for Star Citizen, not Squadron 42.
Yeah,
but I did like the trailer.
Well, let me ask you about that, because that's a thing that has been a bit of a sore spot for me is them dropping the co-op gameplay for Squadron 42. I mean, I was really looking forward to Squadron 42 because I was thinking it was going to be, just an awesome extension of a game like Borderlands, where you could jump in, jump out with your buddies,
or Halo.
Yeah, replay missions with friends and stuff like that. And so that hurt when they dropped that. Anything similar happened for you?
I do recall the co-op and then them dropping it and being disappointed with that. I believe the plan is still to allow you to replay missions co-op, but it's not in the story mode. So you would basically use the sim pod to go back and play the historical mission with your buddies if you wanted to, as wingmen and that kind of thing, but not to progress the story.
I wonder why you can do one but not the other.
They spoke to that, didn't they? It was
I think so.
More to do with that whole the cinematics being in the game world, and you can turn off the camera and play while the cinematics are happening. It had more to do with that. If you had multiple people, then you've got multiple cinematic angles happening at the same time. So you could have NPCs looking at one guy and not the other guy, and it would just became a huge nightmare, I think.
Oh, okay.
Which they showed a good amount of head tracking, so that would make sense.
Yeah, they made a new program that for those cinematic cameras, so that the character NPCs, kind of stay framed, but follow you and stuff like that.
So it would like turn into a really good Gary's Mod game.
Pretty much.
Awesome. Okay, I'm sorry, Monty. I interrupted you.
But yeah, so I'm more excited for Squadron 42, mostly because it's fresh in my imagination right now. It looks like it's going to be a good story, and the visuals are just outstanding. The competency of the tech that they're developing, the quality that they're putting out, in all these different facets, it's like, wow, that is super impressive. Wow, that's super impressive. Look over here. Hey, look, that's super impressive. I mean, they really got some top-notch people working on this stuff. And so,
I think for that, with you wanting Squadron 42 is, as I watched the trailer, and I know Monty will agree, you felt the emotion of the scenes as you're going through them. Like you're going into the coil and you feel claustrophobic, or you see him walking on the rubble, Gary Oldman, and you're kind of devastated by it. And that's that tech that he's talking about, truthfully.
Okay.
I do wish that we'd seen that they included less of what we'd already seen last year from the vertical slice.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of scenes from the vertical slice that were in this trailer, and I understand they don't want to reveal too much, and maybe those were the best scenes to do it. But it's like, oh, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. I've seen that before.
Here's compares the advances to.
It's sort of a tangential question for all you guys. Do you think that the way they organized this was intended to appeal to new backers more than existing backers?
I think that trailer would grab people.
I think they wanted to put a big face on this that is not named Mark Hamill, because it was basically showing off every single major actor that they've announced in there. So it did its job in that way. Maybe that's for the new backer, or maybe it's just answering, well, who's this guy in this role? I don't know that, but that's the way I felt about it, is that they wanted to get out the face.
Well, the first one last year, or the last time that we saw that really got me excited about Squadron 42. But I'm imagining that if I was somebody that had no exposure to this project, but for whatever reason now is interested in playing a space game, to see that this year's Squadron 42 trailer would be jaw-dropping.
That's a valid point, because they actually said in the past, I forget who it was that said this, but essentially the last year leading up to release of Squadron 42 is when they were going to start ramping up the marketing campaign for it, and that would be kind of like the starter gun right there, is that trailer.
Yeah.
I also noticed that a lot of the actors were tweeting and posting about it, which they hadn't done in the past. So it might have been part of their NDA or contract. Mark Hamill tweeted Henry Cavill, Superman.
On
Instagram.
How about Gillian Anderson? Did she tweet?
I don't know. I didn't check hers.
Let me ask. Hey, babe, did you tweet?
Hey, Scully.
She didn't.
That's all I'm going to do in that game, is just follow her around until they throw me in the brig.
But speaking
truth is here.
To bringing in non-backers and exposing to mainstream people, that's what happened when Mark Hamill tweeted it. He retweeted the trailer, and his whole feed, I think somebody even wrote an article, a PC Gamer wrote an article, because he was blowing up all his fan base, was, oh, what is this, a new Netflix show? Is this a new movie? So they had no clues, but now they're all clued in. So
excellent.
He definitely just drew in a bigger eye.
I'll say, so my one buddy that actually met us down there, he was one of the captains that I was in Iraq with. So I started him on Star Citizen. I remember sending you a picture. We were standing.
Yeah.
So
you had your own Bar Citizen, as I recall.
That's right.
Yeah.
Correct. So his only exposure to this game is what I told him over the few nights that we had Fire Guard, and we watched a couple of videos. But he, truthfully, and Grit could contest this, he was asking as many questions as a new guy would ask.
Oh, no, he was sucked in. He was so in.
But he had no clue, and I was chatting with him today, and that trailer, he was like, "Holy shit, we're in it. We're on the right side of this. This is amazing." He's like, "I got my Terrapin. I can't wait till those storms are in the PU." And he's looking totally forward to the single player, and he's kind of a solo guy when he goes out.
Okay.
So I think he's new. He has some knowledge, but that just opened his eyes to what they're giving us.
Yeah.
Which is an easier target for them to hit than it is to impress, those of us that have been around for 5 years,
We're all old, bitter, and jaded.
Yeah.
Back when we had Kickstarter.
We're bitter beer face.
No need to them and myself back in my day.
So Monty, any about your trajectory out the cannon of the end of the con?
Sorry, what's that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just said words. I came out of my face. Your turn. Did you anything else about feeling different after the con than you either expected or did prior to the con?
No, like I said, just an increase in the hype level. Looking forward to what's next.
Okay.
I like the personal housing stuff. I didn't expect that.
Quite
so quickly.
That was neat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's neat.
Well, I think, gentlemen, buckle up because here comes the answer. LeBron, what do you think? LeBron.
Oh,
the
my
answer.
gosh. Well, I hesitate to give this one. I'm afraid that I'm going to take us off into a black hole here.
Yes.
Hold on, let me stretch. Oh, my ACLs.
What was changed for me on the expectation was actually I blame Doc Buckshot for this. But
as you should,
during the main demonstration, to where you were seen, especially as the Mustang was getting destroyed in the game, and then here comes the Valkyrie to save the day. I was starting to think, and then Doc's put it even more in my head of, is this game that is the PU going to really be something that you can enjoy and by yourself? Because that was an amazing demonstration. It was, and it had great depth. But can you imagine trying to storm that underground facility by yourself? Can you imagine the feeling like a sheer badassery as when that Valkyrie came in and you're manning the gun? So it made me wonder if perhaps subconsciously Chris is saying, well, Squadron 42 is going to be almost entirely you playing by yourself, but in the Persistent Universe, we're going to give you a lot of carrots to go get with a couple of buddies.
Oh, I think they intend to do that. But why I can't see why they wouldn't have smaller missions for individuals to undertake. But that's not going to prevent you from getting interdicted or from having somebody be aware of what you're doing and surreptitiously following you out of spaceport. Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things.
Plus $1.
Well, it's one of those things to where I fully believe that you're going to have an enjoyable experience by yourself. It's just that I started to really wonder if you need an Amontillado to come with you, because even right now, prospecting in your prospector is a lot of fun, and but there are just some things that you need, or in the current iteration, another prospector in order to drill into. And so in order to get the full experience, even though it's not required by any stretch, you were being incentivized to bring somebody along.
Okay.
And honestly, most of the ships that I'm interested in already were going to need a couple of buddies, so it's not a big thing to me.
Right.
But to the weekend warriors or folk, I started to wonder about what is their experience going to be like.
Okay, so now Dietrich, I want you to think really hard about an organization that was formed just to solve just this kind of problem. Is anything coming to you?
Take your time.
Are we talking about Magellanic again?
Try again.
On Pizza at work?
Exactly! John.pizza. If you're stuck out in the verse by yourself, just order up a pie. Die on a full stomach.
I ordered a pepperoni pizza from that guy, and he still has not made a delivery.
You didn't give him.
He's perfecting it. Be patient.
Yeah. He doesn't take Bitcoin.
another factor in that whole multi-crude thing, because I agree that's.
Yeah,
I think there will be something for everybody, but they're definitely gearing it more towards. It's kind of like how Sea of Thieves does it too, where they want you to have other people with you. But there's also going to be, and this is a big if because they haven't nailed it yet, the ability to hire those NPC crews and Marine guards and stuff like that, bring with you. But the question is, will those actually be worth it? It may always, and it's intended to always be better to have a real person, anyways.
Well, we just had we just heard tell of an AI that took down Handsome, so
yeah,
got to think some of them are pretty good.
I probably trained him.
In fact, in the comms last night, I was just berating them with, "Are you sure that's an NPC?"
Yeah.
And I had half of them just going, "Oh, darn it, Paladin! Why do you betray us?"
Classic Paladin.
Because that's how you roll. Speaking of, how is 3? You know, I never got an invite. Jerkheads.
For the PU?
No, I wasn't going to do it, but I mean, I would have been nice to get an invite.
I don't think they sent.
So they didn't send an invite. They sent a letter saying it's open to all. And through using my contact, which is Amontillado, he told me where to go to get it, which is just through your account and settings. So you're on. You're in.
Okay. I just in the past I had received an email, with a link and stuff, and I was just change is hard. Change is hard for old guys like me.
I think part of that is they were expecting it to go through the process of the first initial testing so quick that they didn't feel that they needed to do it, and this, fortunately for them, they were right. The first level of subscribers and concierge didn't crash the system.
Can I add to what I said about how I feel it's moving ahead? Just playing in the PU these last few days with money, with people, I'm getting 60 frames. Now, it's a 2080, right? But 60 frames, and I'm not getting
humble brag.
The jumping. It feels like we have jumped over a hurdle that we've been banging our I'm not gonna say that, hitting our heads on the whole time. And we've fully jumped over this.
I agree.
We're in a great home.
I agree 100% because I have an i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and an aging GTX 970, and I'm getting a solid 50.
Nice.
In the entire PTU.
Well, I bet you that i7 is what's doing it for you.
Yeah.
How many cores?
It's a 4-core. It's a 67. It's not even a super crazy i7. Yeah.
I think I'm just running an i5 actually.
Yeah, but for a 970 and 16 gigs, I know people with 64 gigs and all this other stuff that are at times have hit some hits, and I've been butter smooth with this 970 and 16 RAM, and that blew my mind.
Good deal. Okay. Now that we have been told the answer, Turd, do you have anything that you'd like to add on to the end, which just doesn't mean anything at all?
Yeah, mine's pointless, but I'm still excited. I was kind of blown away at the characters in the Squadron 42.
Mm-hmm. They're so good.
But no, other than that, I'm still in R2-D2 low power mode. Just kind of take the information as it comes and just riding the ride.
Exactly.
Just twirling in through people.
I see through people. I'm kind of probably in the same boat. I was hoping out of the con I would have a better idea, kind of big picture. I would have a better idea when beta's coming. Basically, more to the point, when they're going to stop wiping, because Turd, you know how the Gleepster feels about wipes.
I'm used to it though. I don't mind it.
Yeah. That's what that whole road to release was about.
Yeah. So I somehow had in my head that beta would be happening, maybe 2 years from now or so. But it seems like now with the way that Chris described the pillars, we may get to, and when I say beta, I meant beta with all the professions and everything in it. Maybe not all the systems, but with the complete game as envisioned at some point in the past. But maybe in 2 or 3 systems, so that you would have some exposure to jump points. But I don't feel like that beta is even really a thing anymore. It seems more to me like it's strongly possible that they're going to get through the server meshing hurdle, or over the server meshing hurdle, and then at that point, I don't think they could go with any less than one system, 1 or 2 systems, probably 3, 3 systems. But they wouldn't have to have all the professions, and they wouldn't have to have all the ships be included with gameplay loops for those ships, for them to interact with other gameplay loops, like for transport, somebody that's doing transport missions, their gameplay loop interacting with somebody who is doing a piracy, kidnap kind of thing, So I'm concerned that the game may be coming sooner. The release will be happening sooner than I had perhaps expected, but that it's not going to be the whole game. And to this point, none of the gameplay loops associated with my ships are in the game. So
I would assume kind of how Sea of Thieves came out, how we were talking a couple weeks ago, like I feel like now we're at release.
Yeah, it's such a, I think the nature of this project, it's the nomenclature and release and live and all that, it's such an arbitrary target kind of, because technically you could say when we got the hangar years ago was the beginning, and it's just going to kind of keep evolving. But now it seems like from a technical standpoint, from what Chris was saying, instead of it, like you were saying, considering it by the amount of gameplay or professions that are in, they're kind of calling release based on technology. When all the technology, all the engine is ready.
Right.
All the back-end stuff is working, and now that's released, not X amount of systems or X amount of professions.
And I think we can substitute the wiping stops for that point. So they'll stop wiping as soon as the core tech, if we can call it that, is in place and stable. And then after that is when, because we know that they're going to continue working on the game for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
So I used to believe that what that meant was something beyond the 100 systems, and then of course reality kicks in and you kind of scale it back. Well, it means something beyond probably the 20 systems we're going to have at launch. But now it might mean, once we have the core tech in place, then what that means is that now, after the game is released, we're going to start adding in the professions and the gameplay for these ships that we haven't included yet. So, I mean, it's it's obviously it's selfish on my part, but it's like these are the ships I have, these are the ships I want, and if there's no gameplay for them, basically they're just enormous floating targets. So.
But also, who knows how fast things are going to speed up once Squadron does come out.
That's true.
A whole lot of manpower they can dump into using then all the completed tools that they've been building forever.
Dump.
They're just dumping tools.
Dump.
But that could last, they might be cranking out systems like once every couple of weeks at that time. They can throw a lot of people at it, but who knows?
Sure. We that's and obviously that's way beyond the scope of we've been shown by them. So
that's
and the professions are getting closer than they might initially seem, because the fuel mechanics are just over the horizon at like 3.5. We've already got the basic mining, so it's not quite as far off as it might initially seem. Especially since server meshing might take like a year, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the calendar. The only thing that's included in the roadmap coming up is the refueling and the first pass at salvage and what's the other one? Salvage and
repair.
Repair. Yes.
Salvage
Thank you. So that, and how many professions we have? Probably a dozen professions. I guess that depends on how finely you want to cut that, because within cargo transport you could probably think up several different professions, or like nothing on the horizon for data running, which I know a lot of people are really excited.
Many of them, yes.
Yeah. So that's if you stop wiping prior to those folks being able to have access to the gameplay that they're involved in this project for, how does that work for them?
Because I would think the data running probably will be tied heavily to full persistent. Because why would information be important to somebody if that information goes away when the server empties out?
Right.
You'd have to have full persistence to have that even be viable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what beta means anymore. And that's it's neither bad. It's just that's kind of what I learned out of the Road to Release segment. But then again, that's just my best guesstimate. So we'll have to wait and see. Anything else, guys? Shout outs? Anyone got a nice diss rap they would care to bust off? I know you do. Come on.
Come on,
still like girls.
Right, call him out. Call him out. It's all right. You can do it.
Wow.
Turd, come on now.
I have great faith.
You either go or we flush you. What do you want?
We got a floater.
Oh man,
I tell you, flusher, we can't get rid of him.
We're gonna talk about those cowboy boots again, Glenn.
Oh man.
Oh man. Well, guys, this has been seriously. Do you have anything else that you want to mention on the way out the door?
I will give a shout out.
All I want to do real quick is say that TGWS is a great group of people.
Aw,
hell yeah!
Through all that we do, and I think through you, Gleep, and John, and Jimmy, who's now in the Europes right now, just made a good culture, and I think it's bringing in the good people. As literally the first time I saw Grit, it was a handshake and that weird man hug, but it was in a good way.
Oh, was it awkward? Was it awkward?
No, it wasn't actually.
That really wasn't.
Oh man,
when his hand wandered slightly.
Well, you are just adorable.
I was there, and I'll just say that it looked like it was. One of them had a drink already, but other than that, it was pretty good.
But yeah, it's just a good group of people. So.
Well, we that was when we started it all. John and I started the idea. Caleb too. The idea was to have a place for people who prioritize having friends to play with above other stuff, as opposed to finding the game that you have to play, and then looking for friends to play it with you. We are waiting for release, whatever that looks like when it gets here. But in the meantime, we play other games, and I don't know about you, Handsome and Grit and Turd. I've been having a blast playing Sea of Thieves. And so
Absolutely.
Very, very happy for this org in that I've been able to meet you guys, and so got that. So it's the rest is just sauce, raw sauce.
Well, I got one to throw out for you, Gleep. A little parting note, if I may.
Oh, you may.
Way back when Wolf asked me to just write up a little something for INN, and it turned into a big something, of course, as it always does. It was talking about what is the success of a video game, and especially Star Citizen for him. And I was talking about how, me hearing the stories of Wolf, yourself, and everybody meeting friends from afar and shaking hands and having these bonds across the distance, that was the big success of Star Citizen.
Yeah.
I never felt that more than I did at SitCon, because Amontillado is probably the person that I don't know here locally I've spent the most time conversing with. And just to be able to shake his hand and then everybody else that was there, I was sitting there amazed at how my own positivity rose. I'm a Debbie Downer, and all of a sudden I was smiling and grinning and enjoying myself, and it's gotten me to motivated me to get back into gaming with TGWS and everywhere I can.
Good.
So again, the success has been hit big time just by having one little convention just in the local area.
Well, Turd, I remember feeling very similarly in 2016. How about you?
Yes, very much so. It's one thing to play over the computer, but it's another thing to be there in person and just to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
It felt good
to be able to put a sweaty handshake to the voice.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Some weird body odor. You get the sense. Their other senses are involved at that point.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a whole level of intimacy that. That's why I was asking about the awkward, because it's just if you get that that sort of douche chill thing, then you know you found somebody special.
Yeah, I don't think there was any bit of it awkward. Like,
oh, well, try harder next time, damn it.
Yeah, maybe. 2019.
Maybe when I was walking to the bathroom in my underwear, but so was life.
Mr. Foosball.
It's not often that you have a handsome devil and a paladin shaking hands instead of smiting.
That's true.
Well said.
True. I think so. Well, guys, until next time, my name is Gleep, his name is Turd, and we are those guys with ships, and this has been a very special episode of the Versecast. And Turd, do you remember when a very special episode meant that something creepy was going to happen to a child star you admired?
That happened often, as I remember.
No child stars were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Not this time.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
everybody. Bye, everybody.
I like turtles.
Had to wrestle with, but
Glee.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have Versecast back.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Welcome. Yes, it's I do enjoy the shows like this. So we are. I don't know if you had heard previous episode, Monty, but we are going to be from probably. And Turd and I have sort of bounced this around a little bit, but I think kind of the idea is once a month do an audio show in which we'll talk more about gameplay rather than actually sharing our camaraderie through gameplay. We will also talk about the things that we have done, the gameplay that we have experienced together, and what we like about it, what we don't like about it. And absolutely for folks that are rocking in the PU, always going to be welcome to come on and kind of give an update of what's going on with that universe. What does Jillian Anderson say?
She's making me a hamburger.
Oh,
dang.
Redheads.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, we don't let her out in the sun.
Later,
Happy Friday night.
I hope the move goes well. If I was in California, I would help you, but if not, Turd, go give me a hand.
Yeah. I'll be right over. You got pizza.
Yeah. Can you just stop off and get 7 miles of blue tape, please? The thick stuff.
Oh man, I completely forgot about my cougar attack at Sitcom.
What? Oh, that kind of cougar. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Oh.
I'm like, Grit, why are you hiding behind me? No reason.
Yeah.
Big Benny, Big Benny. Yum, yum, yum.
We're doing a podcast.